Cognitive bias is a systematic error in thinking. It occurs when people are processing and interpreting information in the world around them and affects the decisions and judgments that they make. The human brain is powerful, but subject to limitations. Cognitive biases are often a result of your brain's attempt to simplify information processing. Biases often work as rule of thumb that help you make sense of the world and reach decisions with relative speed. Some of these biases are related to memory. The way you remember an event may be biased for a number of reasons, and that, in turn, can lead to biased thinking and decision making. Other cognitive biases might be related to problems with attention. Since attention is a limited resource, people have to be selective about what they pay attention to in the world around them. Because of this, subtle biases can creep in and influence the way you see and think about the world. People sometimes confuse cognitive biases with logical fallacies, but the two are not the same. A logical fallacy stems from an error in a logical argument, while a cognitive bias is rooted in thought processing errors, often arising from problems with memory, attention, attribution, and other mental mistakes. Everyone exhibits cognitive bias. It might be easier to spot in others, but it is important to know that it is something that also affects your thinking. Some signs that you might be influenced by some type of cognitive bias might include only paying attention to news stories that confirm your opinions, blaming outside factors when things don't go your way, attributing others' success to luck, but taking personal credit for your own accomplishments, assuming that everyone else shares your opinions or beliefs, learning a little about a topic and then assuming you know all there is to know about it. When you are making judgments and decisions about the world around you, you like to think that you are objective, logical, and capable of taking in and evaluating all the information that is available to you. Unfortunately, these biases sometimes trip us up, leading to poor decisions and bad judgments. Here's just a few types of cognitive biases that can distort your thinking. Actor-observer bias. This is the tendency to attribute your own actions to external causes, while attributing other people's behaviors to internal causes. For example, you attribute your high cholesterol level to genetics, while you consider others to have a high level due to poor diet and lack of exercise. Anchoring bias. This is the tendency to rely too heavily on the very first piece of information you learn. For example, if you learn the average price for a car is a certain value, you will think any amount below that is a good deal, perhaps not searching for better deals. Here's a trick. You can use this bias to set the expectations of others by putting the first information on the table for consideration. Attentional bias. This is the tendency to pay attention to some things while simultaneously ignoring other things. For example, when making a decision on which car to buy, you may pay attention to the look and feel of the exterior and interior, but ignore the safety record and gas mileage. Availability heuristic. This is placing greater value on information that comes to your mind quickly. You give greater credence to this information and tend to overestimate the probability and likelihood of similar things happening in the future. Confirmation bias. This is favoring information that conforms to your existing beliefs and discounting evidence that does not conform. False consensus effect. This is the tendency to overestimate how much other people agree with you. Functional fixedness. This is the tendency to see objects as only working in a particular way. For example, if you don't have a hammer, you never consider that a big wrench can also be used to drive a nail into the wall. You may think you don't need thumbtacks because you have no corkboard on which to tack things, but not consider their other uses. This could extend to people's functions, such as not realizing a personal assistant has skills to be in a leadership role. The Dunning-Kruger effect. This is when people who believe that they are smarter and more capable than they really are. For example, when they can't recognize their own incompetence.